everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have something very interesting that I just recently purchased, and we're going to look at it. It is the Equine, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, Equine Triage Kit. I'm super excited about this. One of the reasons that I ended up purchasing this is because I've always thought, what could possibly happen while I'm here? Do I have everything that I need to take care of an emergency? This is the small kit, just to get you started, just to make sure that the most immediate danger things that you can take care of are taken care of. And eventually I'm hoping to get the bigger bag. But today we're going to take a look at this little guy. So, let's get started. Alright, so here we have the little triage kit, and it comes in this nice little bag. I mean, as you can see, it's not really that big. It's really easy to just take it and go. The intention was, and if you look on the box, was for trail riding shows, anytime you're going to travel, or just to have around the barn, just in case you needed it. So it's a nice little compact item that you can pretty much take with you everywhere. It has actually these little loops right here. You can stick it on your belt if the day that you're going out with the horses is the day that you're just on standby for taking care of them, like at shows and things like that. Or it just goes on your belt when you're on a trail ride, anything like that. Another thing that this can be used for is if you're hooking it onto your saddle when you're taking a trail ride and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Now we're gonna just unzip this little thing and take a look inside. It unzips all the way around, and then it opens up. Just like this, and you can see it has a little tag right here that I actually just stuck in there, and this little tag actually has a list of all the things that are inside of it. As you can see, it just has everything inside of it. I thought this would be good to keep just so that I can remember, and if you don't necessarily see right off the bat if you have that item, you can check real quick so you don't go digging through and then realize, I don't have that item. So it opens on both sides, see? Just pop that open, you can stick your hand in there. So, very easy to get to, everything's laid out a certain way. Pop it open this way too. So now that we've taken a look at the bag, let's go ahead and pull all the contents out and we'll take a look at them individually. Now here we have all the items spread out. You can see it comes with a lot. You wouldn't think that in such a small bag you would get this amount of things, but they have it packed in really nicely. So we're gonna start over here and make our way over. First of all, there is a pair of scissors for cutting bandages and things like that, which is really nice to have, especially if you have some kind of equipment that's maybe cloth that you need to cut to get off the horse wherever it's wounded, or even cutting off clothing from somebody who their clothing might be stuck to the horse if the horse is having issues. Then we obviously have the cohesive bandage or the ACE bandage in here. This stuff is really something that you keep around the barn at all times. I use this all the time for any kinds of wounds and cuts in general, so this is good to have as well. We have 2 pairs of gloves, so you know, not just once, but twice, you can use these. We've got these electrolyte supplements. This is really important to have, especially if you're having a horse that's having issues, overheating, things like that. Even a horse that's having colic issues. Sometimes colic can be a lack of electrolytes, so this is good to have as well. We have wound care clay. We actually have 2 packages of those, and as you can see, it helps reduce inflammation, helps promote rapid healing, and it addresses bacteria at the source. So this is a pretty cool little item to have, and very important if you're dealing with things like open wounds. Right here we have a little kit that has bandages, lots of gauze, a smaller size and a bigger size, and some cotton and a cotton tipped applicator. Actually has 4 of those in there, you can see right there. So this is really good to have as well. And you know, it's funny because you can use a lot of this. This is supposed to be for horses, but there are some things that are kind of like double. So if there's something going on with the person who is riding at the time, you can also apply a couple of these things to that person. Obviously not the horse specific wound care. This is just extra wound care. This is a spray. It's probably a little bit easier if you have like a panicking animal to spray on the wound as opposed to trying to put some kind of clay or anything on it. And this is large animal. So this can not just horses, but if you have some kind of large animal on the farm, you can use this as well. This is a blood stop powder, and this is really good for stopping a bleeding if you need it to stop very quickly as much as you can. It's for use on all animals, and it's easy to apply because it's got that little, as you can see, it's got that little, let's see if it'll focus. As you can see, it's got that little tiny place where you can easily apply it to wherever the bleeding is. And then we just have another wound solution. Lots of these, you know, and there's all different kinds of applicators. So it's really good if you're trying to figure out the best option for, depending on how big the wound is, where the wound is, and how the animal reacts. Next, we have an Equine Triage Kit manual, and this kind of just gives you a rundown of how to use each item, what some of the symptoms are of animals, if they're having issues, like with needing to use the electrolytes and stuff like that. So this is really cool to have. There's actually a book that I'm wanting to get that is, it's like a thick book, and it talks about all of the first aid uses for horses. Next, we have 2 of these glow sticks, so these illumination batons. And the good thing about having these is, let's say you're out at a rodeo at night, or you're at a show that's in the dark, and maybe your horse did something where they fell near the trailer and it's not lit over there. At least these will help you to be able to see. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're traveling like that, you're gonna have a flashlight of some sort, but this is good just to help with extra light. Next, we have a cold pack. It's one of those instant ones that you just rub together and it becomes cold, so you've got one of those. Then we have a hoof bandage and a hoof boot, and this is really good for things where there's an injury in the foot to keep them from having too much pain, because if they have a sensitive area on the underside of their foot, it can make it very difficult to walk. But if they have this padding, at least you can get them somewhere safe, and you're not having to have too hard of a time getting them from one place to another. Next, we have a set of tweezers. This is always good to have, especially if something's happened where they've gotten stuck with something that you really need to get out. If they've run into a fence and there's wood in their skin, things like that, this is really good to have in that instance. We also have a hoof pick, which is really good to have if you're trying to check on a wound on the inside of the foot. Good to always have extra of these. It's good to have a ton of these, really. Then we have a little triangular bandage, and it has a couple of safety pins. And then we have a thermometer. And this is good to have as well, because especially if your horse is acting up, you want to check their temperature, make sure that they're at the correct temperature and not something that will require immediate emergency vet issues. And the sooner that you catch the problem where they might be overheating, having a fever, things like that, the better. And then they actually have, this is a extended strap for your bag, and you can use it in all kinds of different ways. But if you wanted to carry the bag over your shoulder, there you go. So guys, it's really a cool, solid little first aid kit. It's really something good for any kind of like severe emergencies that are like something that you can get to right off the bat. Or even if it's just like, oh, my horse cut his foot while riding the trail, let me spray some wound and skin care solution just to keep the bacteria. It's antibacterial, things like that. That way, when you get home, you're not having to worry about it sitting, getting dirty, and then you could end up with a whole lot of other problems. Hopefully I'll never have to use this. That's my plan anyway. But if I do, at least I'll have all these items. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm hoping that I won't have to use this too many times, but hopefully it will come in handy at the times I do need it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.